Well, hello everyone. All of the maybe 5 people that seem to see my videos most of the time. This needs to be said. If you haven't seen me before, I've created this channel, rarely ever get on it. It seems to be something that I should be doing more often, considering I spend 60 hours gaming most of the fucking time. I probably could do something with that. Techland, the subject of the video. I want to preface Dead Island. I had the originals. I had Dead Island Riptide as well. I had Dead Island enhanced editions because, of course, I double dipped. They weren't going to give it to me for free because I figured they wouldn't, but at least I got a discount. Yes, I'm guilty of giving them the power that they have, along with several other people who have done the same thing. But I take issue with the Dying Light situation. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the game came out in 2015. There was a season pass, blah, 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 lots of free shit, and one paid expansion that was included in that $30 price tag. I'm not going to argue whether or not there's enough content to justify that particular DLC. What I will say is, don't call it a season pass if it's for one fucking thing, and the rest of the shit's free to begin with. Now, there are plenty of YouTubers that exist that have the whole shtick of being angry people. It's character stuff, it's a gimmick. James Rolfe is very entertaining, I will say that. I love the angry video game nerd. And not so much irate gamer. He seems like he's forced. Now that he's actually swearing, it seems even more forced. But one key difference between me and them, I'm a fucking asshole 24/7. It's not a character, it's not an act. I'm brutally honest about everything, whether I'm on here or not. And they may be the same way, but I don't want to say that I'm a dick to people, but I certainly don't think that I'm much for people. I'll say that. Now, the mentality that most of the Dying Light community has is that, oh, it's been 5 years, they're still supporting it, we're still enjoying it, where most of them can't even play multiplayer with each other because they want to kick you off the game. So, whatever. That's not the problem. My problem, where I'm sure a lot of people will share this sentiment, where the fuck is Dying Light 2? And forget about that shit for a second. Where the fuck is Dead Island 2 that people paid for and pre-ordered back when it was still being developed by Jaeger or Jagger, however the fuck you pronounce that shit? Where is that? Where the fuck is Hellraid? Some random person on Steam mentioned a new Call of Juarez. I'm not going to go as far as to say where is a new one of those, because we know how shitty the one that didn't end up being a gunslinger game was. Who remembers the Cartel? Who doesn't want to remember it? The majority of people want to forget that game exists. When you pay for something, you expect to have it, right? I'm not going to say that they are fucking scamming people. I just did. It seems a lot like with the amount of people they have working there, they could have refocused one of the teams or just stop supporting a 5-year-old fucking game and make something new, for Christ's sake. You know? Give us the shit that you promised but didn't deliver on. So people with pre-orders for Dead Island 2, assuming nobody canceled, assuming there's anybody that still has a fucking pre-order they haven't gotten refunded, these people are probably sitting there with their thumbs up their ass wondering, where the fuck is my game? Techland. I enjoyed Dying Light. I enjoyed the following to a lesser degree. The difficulty hike is kind of bullshit. I don't like the motherfuckers with the guns. They seem to actually kill you easier than in the main game. Could be just shit at the game. But even if I was really good at it, 5 years ago, this game was really fun. 2 years ago, it was starting to show its age, but that expansion made it a little tolerable. You release a DLC that cock teases people that wanted Hellraid. What's next? Dead Island 2 Arcade Machine DLC? Bitches, make a new fucking game. Jesus Christ. Nobody wants to play the same fucking game for 5 years. Unless you're some dipshit that buys every fucking FIFA game, because you're essentially playing the same fucking game if you buy it 5 years in a row. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I know there are a lot of dumbass people out there, but I would figure there'd be enough people raising a fucking stink about this, yet I feel like I'm one of the very few minority that actually wants something new from these lazy motherfuckers. You release a shit $10 DLC that isn't included in the season pass, even if I wanted the damn thing, and it's just a sample of a game that you got waiting in the wings that you have abandoned, most likely. You probably gutted what was left of the game and threw the assets into Dying Light. Where are the new games? Pandemic be damned. If you got time to release a fucking DLC like that, you got time to at least admit, hey, we're understaffed. Instead of milking a dead cow for 5 years, we're going to admit during the current situations, we cannot create a full-fledged game. Don't be retarded. Quit acting like you really need to pump this much fucking manpower in a game that's already come out. It's been out for 5 fucking years. We don't want more content for it. Some of you might, but I personally, and I'm sure a lot of people that clearly aren't saying anything online, go figure, the people that want something new don't say anything, would like something new. Give us a different game. Give us something new. I sound like a fucking broken record here, but how many times do I gotta repeat myself before they fucking get it? This is not what people want. The mostly negative reviews on Steam, let me double check that just to be sure. Let's see. Main game, overwhelmingly positive. Very positive. Okay. Let's see. Hellraid. Oh, mixed reviews. Yeah, all reviews mixed. The good majority of the people who hate this DLC or don't recommend it are echoing the same sentiments that I am bringing forth. Give us a proper Hellraid. With melee combat. It's just a little bit of a quote from Well, that's not a very helpful profile name. This is the top fucking review. It's like the most helpful review. This dude has some kanji and some samurai shit. But clearly understands English enough to say that he's tired of this shit. My sentiments exactly. There can't be that many people that are really so in love with this game still that they're willing to play it for 5 years and it's not going to get stale. I played it for 2 years. I beat the campaign with my brother. I don't have any desire to finish the DLC. I've already moved on to bigger, better things. Why the fuck do I want to go back to this game that came out in 2015? It's not like fucking Skyrim where you can just go back in and mod the shit out of it and enjoy the game-breaking, disgusting bugs that are actually quite funny. It's bullshit. To put it bluntly, it's a goddamn headache. Just come up with something new. If you can't give us something a bit more substantial, release a fucking small game. Release something that takes more effort than a half-assed Hell Raid DLC that I don't give a shit if it's $10. It's still not worth buying. Yeah, you want to pay $10 to be reminded that this is a game that should have been in development, and instead they chose to say, hey, remember that game that we told you guys, fuck off, you're not getting until we feel like working on it? Here's a cock tease DLC for Dying Light 1, the game that came out 5 years ago. And I'm going to keep fucking saying that because the more I say it, the worse it sounds. Imagine if EA supported NBA 2K15 for 5 fucking years. Imagine if people actually played that shit. Oh, and maybe I should have age restricted my video since, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be monetizing it since I mentioned the word pandemic that these pussies can't handle on YouTube. But I'm also drinking an adult beverage. Not because this situation has me fucked, just because I'm enjoying a 4-day weekend. So it's just, if I thought of something to say to these people who are telling people that want something new, well, there's still a big community for it, it would be this. Yeah, there's still a big community for all three Borderlands games. You didn't see that stopping Gearbox from releasing other IPs. Yeah, there's still a big modding community for Skyrim, but you didn't see that being an issue when Bethesda decided, hey, let's get id Software to make another Doom game. They're not stopping every fucking thing they're developing to support one fucking game for 5 years. Do you see how retarded that sounds? Horseshit. That's what I could sum it up in one word. Horseshit. Really original, right? Yeah, I don't fucking care. It's just, it's stupid. I was actually looking forward to Dead Island 2. I hated the crazy, inconsistent, like, difficulty of Dead Island Riptide. Dead Island 1 started out They're rather healthy difficulty. It hikes up like crazy near the end, but I was able to finish that shit at one point when I had the original. And my computer couldn't run the goddamn thing properly when I had my first rig. It was running like shit because it just. I bought the terrible processor nobody wanted, the AMD FX 8150. Yeah, I'm an idiot for doing that. Now I've got a 6700K that I'm thinking of dumping for another AMD processor, but until it bottlenecks my 2080 Ti enough for me to give a shit, I'm not gonna do it. I'm poor. I'm a broke ass. I ain't gonna beg for nothing. But if I had to beg for anything, it would be Techland. Please pull your heads out of your asses. You just hired the fucking former Witcher developer. You hired some people from CD Projekt Red. And you're going to tell me that you can't come up with something other than yet another DLC for a game that most of us have moved on from. There's been so many games that have come out recently that what the fuck are we going to play Dying Light for? I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a Dynasty Warriors fool. I'm one of those. I like those mindless hack and slash clusterfucks of varying quality. I was dumb enough to buy the full complete edition of the most hated game in the fucking franchise, Dynasty Warriors 9, just because I like to suffer sometimes. I'm a masochistic gamer. Maybe that should have been my fucking name instead of the feral gamer, because I don't want to sound like another fucking ripoff of an established quirk. But considering every word out of my mouth is fuck this, fuck that, and it's not forced, I really am a disgusting son of a bitch that talks like this 24/7. I figured it fitted at the time, so. But no, just I'm playing fucking Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate. I still haven't unlocked Ryu Hayabusa, so I'm just took a break from that shit. Took a look on the Steam page for Dying Light to see the fuck is this? A new DLC for this shit again? Bitch, move on. Meanwhile, Red Dead Redemption 2 is sitting in my library, barely getting played. Horizon Zero Dawn is sitting in my library, getting ignored until they fix it. It's like I like being tormented by these asshole developers. But 5 years is just a little too fucking far. I bought the deluxe edition of that fucking game. Actually, no. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I think my brother gifted me the whatever the hell Ultimate Edition at the time, or the deluxe edition that included the season pass. Didn't realize that season pass was going to be $30 for just one expansion. The rest of the shit would have been free to people who didn't own the season pass. Okay. So, if we don't have issues with that, well, when do we start to say enough is enough? I could see there's probably enough content in the following. I didn't bother to finish it. I just didn't care. At that point, I had moved on from the game so much that I didn't want to go back to it. The multiplayer always irritated. I either couldn't get in matches with people that actually wanted to play the game, or they'd leave the game immediately, or I'd get kicked. if I ever bothered to join somebody else. It just sucks. I would play co-op with my brother and a few people that I know, but I don't see this great online community. Everybody, well, the few people that I've seen on Steam that are talking great about it, I don't see that community everybody's talking about. I see a bunch of antisocial people who can't just put the fucking game in offline mode. You can play offline, you know? You don't have to have your shit open to multiplayer. I do it all the time when I don't want some dickhead coming in my game as Be the Zombie, and he's using a fucking trainer on the other end because he's moving impossibly fast. I mean, I'd probably do the same thing just to spite the fucking guy if I could get in his game, but I don't want to be in that kind of fucking community to begin with. But it's 5 years. Move the fuck on. Make something new. In closing, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys are lazy as shit. Ugh. But, yeah. I think that's going to be all for this. Stupid.